Nova Scotia Canada in the house. Let me know if you can hear me so we get started. 5x5 or A-OK or anything. Hear my voice, see the screen. Let me know, John G. In the house from Nova Scotia. Up in the northeast. California in the house, Georgia Card. Good to see you. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me so we get started. Say okay? Alright, let's do it. Alright, James Kaufman, World News Report today. Today is May 25th, 2025. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Ring that bell for critical future updates. I thought today, enough happened on our star that it actually deserves its own show. So we're going to go through and do a quick show about the solar activity that happened today and about the solar activity that we should expect over the next few days. Nothing happened on any of the KP indexes today on the 25th. I guess nothing was supposed to because we had really no flaring activity or filament eruptions. We did have the coronal hole that never materialized, which was more than strange. The biggest coronal hole we've ever seen never ever materialized even into 600 kilometer per second winds. Now, it did freak me out. It is freaking me out, but those are the facts, right? As you can see, the last 2 days, we've had KP indexes very low. A KP index is a measurement of solar plasma and solar winds combined hitting the surface of Earth. And these locations are all different. This is Boulder University, Fredericksburg. This is in Huntsville, Alabama, estimated planetary index. This is the one that was upgraded by NASA and NOAA. And it really is supposed to give us the best information, although it's not as sensitive. The most sensitive one seems to be the college index, KP index, and I can't get information on where that is located. If anyone can help with that, greatly appreciate it. But right now, nothing's going on except for y'all got bombarded by X-rays today and protons, X-rays and protons. So it's not like nothing's happening. That's pretty huge, if you ask me. All right, moving along, we're going to go over the flares we had here. First flare of the day, an X 1.12. I covered it last night, as you guys know. It looks like it occurred about 1:30 UTC time, which was only 8:30 last night Central Time here. So this happened as we were doing our show last night. That was quickly followed up by, I've got a list, an M1.6 flare right here. And that peaked at 6:35, which is perfect there, perfect. 6:35, and what does that say? It's so strong. There it is, M1.6. Look at that, just like my list says. All right, following the M1.6, we had an M3.5. I thought this was going to go higher. They call it 3.2 here. It was really a 3.5. It peaked at 10:18 UTC time, or about 3:20 when you were trying to sleep last night. I was working still, so I know that didn't go well for y'all. Then we had what I thought was going to be another X flare pop up, and that peaked at 16:31 UTC time, which is 11:31 this morning, 11:31 this morning Central Time. Now, what's crazy about this is, of course, they all came from the same sunspot. Now, that sunspot has changed into beta gamma, but of course. So we are maintaining a C flare baseline. We had lost that after 6 months. You can see just over the last 7 days, we had lost it. I guess we lost it about 7 days ago, and it is actually moved back up to be a C plus baseline. Okay, this is the actual X flare from our GOES solar ultraviolet imager. To me, it looks like it would be directly Earth facing just by the signature of the explosion. But I will say, when you look at the X-ray impact and the alternation and degradation of radio signals, it definitely wasn't a direct hit. It was very far from it. We've had much, much worse. Again, that's the X 1.12 that peaked at about 1:35 UTC time, about 8:35 last night. All right, and then there it is, the X 1.12. Now, they've taken it off. I guess it's more events are archived, but it was on the list. It was generated from the same sunspot that all the other M flares and X flare, well, there are no other X flares. Even the M8.9 was generated from 4098. It went from simple to not really complex, not a Delta class sunspot, but a beta gamma sunspot. You can see by the orange color. We had a 25% chance of having an X-class solar flare today, a 65% chance of having an M-class solar flare. Both those ships have sailed and we're maintaining a C baseline. Wow, C2. I can't believe we lost that C baseline for that long. Now, this kind of goes over all the peaks and valleys that I showed you guys. We're going to keep moving. You can see that 4098 is moving to actually the departing. Whoa, what the hell was that? I don't want a reward. I want up your system. Can you believe that they would do that? This computers with AT&T have 3 different services. They're going to pay for that. I'll get rid of them. I don't want your deals. I don't want your deals. I got the best deals. All right. 4098's right here. This was taken last night at about 8 p.m. Central. And you can see that these were much more Earth-facing. You can see that 4092 is no slob. And 4096 is no slob either, right? 4087 is actually departing and has departed. We have several new sunspots. They're going to have to be named here. They tend not to name them, but this was taken last night, so it's a little bit lagging. And a little bit lagging here. But all the trouble is coming from one sunspot group here, 4098. All right, so's ultraviolet imager, 195 angstroms. That's our problem right there. There she blows. It looks like it's constantly flaring. But you know what? There's a lot of sympathetic solar flares going on as well. And there's a lot of trouble coming around the limb here. If you really want to know what this is big time trouble. Right? Big time trouble. Let me see if I can find that on SDO, because I did not pull that up. And I wanted to. Now, this is it here. So, these are the sunspots coming around. They don't look that ferocious to me, but I think they're going to be a whole heck of a lot. And again, this is from the 23rd and a half, about a day and a half ago. So this is what you're seeing coming around the northern limb here right now. The FS 18. We have the 19 in red right here. We have the 21 in yellow and the 22. You can also see them here on, well, what little view we have of the backside of the sun. Ridiculous. We could put a satellite up in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Or so they tell me. Would it have to be a balloon? We've got some coronal holes. This is the big coronal hole that never hit the Earth with any solar winds. Try to explain that one to me. It was the biggest coronal hole that we've ever seen. I've ever seen in 25 years. And there was no substantial, not even up to 650 kilometers per second, uptick whatsoever associated with it. There's the one sunspot that's now beta gamma. It's being very active. And this here is that mess that we saw coming around. Well, it's going to be a problem. They always seem to come around in the northern hemisphere. You know, I won't try to. They also always seem to come around negative polarity and then switch to regular polarity. Very strange. And then what do we see here? Just to show everybody. Let me get it down a little bit. They've done their predictions through May 28th. There should be no geomagnetic disturbances. And of course, I'm going to call bull crap on this. Okay? Bull crap. Now, y'all watch. This is their NOAA. Just updated this today because this says the 26th. That means they had to go in and update it today. And they have nothing happening whatsoever for the next 3 days until the 29th. Now, we can't see the 29th here, but this is a shit show. Most of these coronal mass ejections will reach Earth in 20 to 40 hours. I'd say the good majority. Carrington event was 18 hours. They found one that was 13 hours. We've seen them that were 72 hours. But there is a good window in there from about 20 to 40 hours, depending on how fast the plasma lifts from the sun. We've been seeing it in the 1.4 to 1.9 million miles an hour group, which puts it getting here in 30 to 40 hours for sure, right? For sure. Let's see what this is. This is Mercury. Yes. This is Mercury. We'll play this through. Can't see these huge explosions. See if they don't even cover the X-flare. They try not to, right? Let's see what they've done. What they've done this time. Right? This time. All right, the X-flare went off here. We should still be able to see it. We don't see anything whatsoever. Time missing wise. Increments. What is that? Coming through the frame. Increments, but no substantial time missing thus far. I say that. And then we have an hour missing right here. I say that, and then we have an hour and another hour. We have 2 hours missing there. Back to actually working. Back to actually working. They'll take away an hour if they need to. It was because, well, either the rogue star planet got in the way, or an alien ship, or a black hole, or you name it. So we'll play that once through. Let's give you guys an idea of what is going on here. Not much. I don't see a bunch of rocks heading into the star like we usually do. And we're getting ready for a lineup, a planetary lineup. It's going to happen on the 28th and 29th. So y'all keep that in mind, 28th, 29th. Although we have to deal with these 3 or 4 M and X flares that occurred today that will be inbound, even if a glancing blow. And since we have no shields whatsoever, they're going to be more than a glancing blow, even if they're light. And again, one of them was an X 1.12. That's not light. All right, and here we are today. Tomorrow, that moon's going to line up. I see an earthquake coming out tomorrow. Probably right now, as I finish this, we'll have an earthquake over 6.1 magnitude here on Earth. Has to do with the planetary lineups. We still have the big boys, Jupiter, Uranus, and Saturn on the other side of the solar system, and everything's circling very quick in the inner solar system, separated by this yellow line here. This is millions of miles between the yellow line and Jupiter, between the yellow line and Saturn. They've put it not to scale, and when they put it not to scale, they indicate it with a yellow line each time. And there's Pluto, that second yellow line, and then it just goes much further to Maymaker, Haumuia, all the planetarians, small planets, microplanets, whatever y'all want to call them. All right, how'd they do today? Well, let's see how they did today. First, today, shield's completely down. We've had no solar plasma, no solar winds. Started, and look, I'm going to go easy on them. Started about 475, let's say, and went down to 370. They really did the best they've ever done today, only because they didn't go back and try to fix it. Maybe they did. Plasma started out 6. It did go a bit higher than they had hoped. 7, never broke the space weather threshold, although really it did break the space weather threshold. And y'all will see that 10.25, y'all will see all the breaks right about 6 UTC time, 7 UTC time, and before that. And solar winds went from 475 down to 370. Temperatures have remained pretty solid, pretty normal. And let's go back and see what they guessed, because that's all it is. We just paid over $1.3 million to upgrade the Space Weather Prediction Center. Today is the 25th. Look at our solar winds here. Well, our solar winds weren't at 3 to 3. They're closer to 6 to 10, as you'll soon see. So they didn't do a great job. 10's way up here, okay? So there's quite a difference in the projected situation, Space Weather Prediction Center, and the actual reality here. This is the Prediction Center. Here we have plasma. Hey, started at about 500 and went down to about 400. That's pretty close. That's pretty close, actually. For this shit show, that's real close, right? All right, let's take a look at the D region absorption prediction center. Tells us how much X-rays the planet bared today. And if y'all are getting fried quickly or slowly, definitely getting fried, but is it quick or is it slow? Everybody doing cool tonight? Mark, great to have you. Florida Prepper in the house. Egan, great to have you. Bob, great to have you. It does hurt, believe it or not. It'll keep you up. It'll wake you up. I should do a real professional 30-minute deal on what space weather does to you, but it increases the amount of heart attacks during space weather events by a huge amount. Increases the amount of strokes, increases the amount of all types of things. Anything related to our nervous system, because remember, we're electrical beings, and this is an electrical solar system, right? Everything's electrical. Nothing here is nuclear. This is electrical. These are electromagnetic connections between Earth and our star, and we are, believe it or not, an electromagnetic connection. We run just like a computer. We run just like our entire solar system and universe does. I can't make my fingers move this mouse without sending electrical signals through my tendons and my bones and my muscles. You can do it mandatory, or it could be like when you breathe and you don't realize it. After my stroke, sometimes my automated system doesn't work, and I have to remind myself to breathe and remind myself to do the basics. That's really scary, especially when swallowing doesn't work. So your nervous system is all electrical, and when they spray you with radiation, which means protons and X-rays, well, and those are the rays that are closer together and harm the human body, like an AM radio wave. It's a long wave. It doesn't hurt anything. But once you get back to it happens to be that the human visual spectrum is right in the middle of bad waves versus good waves, ultraviolet versus infrared. And the length of the wave is everything that matters. Saw the radiation pouring down, as you already knew. All right, so we saw that the shields are down here. That's no good. We saw them try to pop up here when they got hit. They're just like a callus on your foot. See the winds come up here, and we see the plasma come up here, and as a reaction, our shields come up for a split second, but are down within an hour. So that's not helping us much, is it? All right, just to kind of show you all what I was talking about, 6 to 7 here, you can see that we have plenty of prints up and above space weather threshold, 10 centimeters cubed. And y'all can see them right here. I'll make this a little bit bigger for those blind like me. And y'all can see them here. So we did end up in a space weather situation. Very mild, nothing over 20 centimeters cubed. And we saw winds go from right where they're supposed to, 475, pretty much right where they're supposed to 375. Temperature actually remained normal and then got, well, mild. We'll call it mild. There is no bow shock. There is no space weather all the way through. Nothing. Nothing whatsoever for hours and hours. I was expecting to see something coming up the rear, but I can't say I see that, so I'm not going to say something that's incorrect. All right, see if I can get this a little bit cooler size here. All right, so I've got the whole last day. We'll play this slow. Remember Mercury coming around here, and they just took an hour away. That was when that CME went off. That hour they took away. Good times. So we would say that there was no coronal mass ejection from the X flare. Only when Earth facing. If it was facing anywhere else, it would be the biggest coronal mass ejection ever seen, right? Because we see them every day on the limbs, on the backside, etc. I saw that little spaceship. Did y'all see that? Right there. We'll zoom in and take a look at the spaceship, just for fun. Nanu. I'm Mork from Orc. Mork from Orc. Alright. Play on. I'm watching everything, as you can tell. Watching the time down here, more specifically, and using my peripheral view off the one eye that left me to give you all the best information possible. And this is a minute by minute LASCO C3 today, from today. I programmed all this myself, so you can see up above. I see nothing, not one coronal mass ejection created or even hitting LASCO C3 from all the X 1.12, the M 1.6, the M 3.5, the M 8.9. I see nothing. What is this coming onto frame? What is this coming onto frame? I don't like the way that looks at all. It doesn't add up. I know that's Mercury. And yeah, I know where my planets are. There's nothing that could be. We're seeing Mercury come here. It's going to be right in this area here. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Pretty screwball shit. You obviously see it hiding behind the lens cover holder here. Obviously there's a planet or something very large right here. It's not a star. Not a star. All right. Going over to STO HMI magnetogram image. Take a look at that bad boy. Look at what's coming around the limb. And listen, it's inverse polarity. See the black over the white in the northern hemisphere? Y'all get ready to rumble. This is the black over the white in the northern hemisphere we're dealing with now. That just a simple sunspot. This is white over black. The sun doesn't know what to do in the southern hemisphere. This is gargantuan. This was taken at 8:30 last night, Central Time here in the U.S. And y'all can imagine that should be named. And you can see the black covering the white, which is negative over positive, which you should never see. They said it's less than 0.1% of all sunspots. It's almost all the sunspots that we see. Now, they might change over to regular polarity, but it's everything I've ever seen, especially coming around that limb there. All right. Going over to SOHO 284 angstroms, you can see that we do have some coronal holes. They're kind of hiding out here. That's 4098 there. That's all by Felicia. This was taken, let's see, at 7:06 this morning. 7:06 this morning. So this is more recent, although I thought we could see, or should be able to see, more of this sunspot group here. So it's always bad when you have sunspot groups separated by coronal holes, because they will loop over and connect, creating a very large solar flare. Although these are all simple sunspots, remember, this one here is beta gamma. Not delta yet, but beta gamma. Real quickly before we go, I want to ask y'all, would y'all rather do headlines next or volcanoes, earthquakes, and wildfires? Y'all tell me in the chat if you can, and I'll put it together here. Nothing's going on in the Schumann, which means nothing. This is not what everyone thinks it is. This is a localized situation of vibration and frequency. It's not a planet-wide. None of the sensors are planet-wide. They never go off in internet together. And this more has to do with our atmosphere depleting, and it proving to us that our atmosphere is depleting because the higher spikes, higher than we've ever seen, 37 being the highest Schumann resonance spike ever seen before 2017. And then after that, when our shield started really to deplete, each year we get higher and higher spikes. But all it really is lightning hitting the ground and then trying to bounce off one of our atmospheric levels. And the higher the level, well, the better for Earth. But these levels are extremely low. We're down to our D region, the last one left. Yes, our F and E regions, F1, F2, E1, E2, they do come about. They do come about still. But on any normal day, we could be down to just one level of atmosphere, our D region, which is scary and ridiculous. We say, Jerry, I love coffee. I had some today. All right, looks like we're going to do some headlines. I love Keurig, those little packages. I just need Mark 2 of them because I like it really strong, right? No French vanilla. Damn queers. Hey, I don't see any horns, boy. Hey, Jerry in the house. Good to see you, brother. I'm still making it, as you can see. Well, Catherine, I know that we will hit it by the end of the month. Tonight we're going to come back with headlines. Yes, ma'am. It's a little too... my shit's black, okay? Black, I love them. But I need 2 Kruiks in my shit. So I double brew that shit. Alright, hey, God bless you guys. Please share and subscribe. We'll be back within the hour with headlines for today. Very complicated headlines for today. So y'all get ready for a great show as usual. Please share, please subscribe. It'd be awesome. So I'll put together great, and I'd really appreciate it if everyone gives us a thumbs up and shares our video. God bless you guys. If y'all can help us with a cup of coffee, which we haven't seen one in weeks. We saw one from one of our gentlemen 2 days ago. We really appreciate it. But this month we've gotten less than half of what we usually receive from just donations for coffee, which is just a couple $100. And we're dying. We're dying. Y'all help if you can. If you can't, sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. God bless you guys. Y'all please do remember to give us a thumbs up. You know, I know that they won't even sometimes let y'all give me a thumbs up. Because if I go to my friend's house, he shows me. So I know everything they're playing game on me. But I refuse to give up. We're all God's soldiers, and if we give up, I almost gave up. I won't lie to you guys, okay? I didn't almost give up. Almost only worried about myself. But you know what? I can never be happy only worrying about myself. So here I am. We'll see y'all back in about 1 hour, about 10:30, with all the headlines y'all could possibly want to see. God bless you guys. Share and subscribe. And always remember, anything's possible in bizarro world. God bless you guys. Happy Memorial Day.